let's talk about my 5 key takeaways from the New York Jets versus the Chicago Bears game.
Inside, and a beauty! Hall running free! Breece Hall inside the 10! He's gonna score!
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Talking Jets with Tigo. My name is Tigo, and today we're going to be going over my 5 key takeaways after I was able to watch the game again, really evaluate what we were able to see from this game. What are my 5 key takeaways moving forward for this Jets team after the Bears game? My key takeaway number 1 has to be that when this team has a quarterback that can get the players the ball effectively and on time. Mike White went 22 of 28. The whole team just looked like they were having fun. And when the Jets have fun on the field, and that's exactly what they looked like they were doing, was having fun for the first time this year, and they weren't worried about who was under center, which is a pretty big indictment on Zach right now. This team looks unstoppable. Like, I know that this is a bad Chicago Bears team, and we routed a bad team, right? And that's what you're supposed to do against bad football teams. But that's not what the New York Jets of old would have done. And when this team has fun on both sides of the ball, they absolutely dominate. My second key takeaway was the second half adjustments that we saw from our defense. Our defense came out of the gates really, really slow, and I was really concerned about it. We were starting to see the rehashes of the tackling problem. We were kind of lazy in coverage. People were getting receptions that they shouldn't have been getting receptions, and the overall production that we saw from the defensive line was just not there, wasn't existent. We go into halftime and we come back from the half, and then you kind of see a change in the defense. We started playing harder, we started playing faster, and we ended the game with 0 points in the fourth quarter. So we're starting to see that this coaching staff, both on the offensive and defensive side of the ball, are making the adjustments at halftime to make sure that the New York Jets stay in games. And the defensive adjustment at halftime, you could see it when you watched the game back, was absolutely phenomenal. My third takeaway from this game is that we are okay at running back. After watching this game and confirming with my eyes that Zonovan Knight looks like he lost weight, but we're good at running back even with the injuries with Breece Hall and now Michael Carter possibly missing time. We saw why, and what I have been saying for a long time, why Ty Johnson is the running back 3 on this roster and why this team believes in him. And we're seeing that, you know what? Bam Knight can play at the NFL level. I want to see what Bam Knight's reps look like against a better team. And so I'm hoping he gets the nod against the Minnesota Vikings, because I would love to see what he looks like against a better team, even though Minnesota isn't that much better defensively than Chicago is. My key takeaway number 4 has to be this wide receiver room, and not just the wide receiver room specifically, but the pass catchers. We looked dominant in the passing game, and it's another testament to Mike White and his success at quarterback for this team. Our offensive scheme and what Mike LaFleur is doing is absolutely phenomenal. But to see that Garrett Wilson goes 8 of 5, 95 yards and 2 touchdowns. Elijah Moore, 2 for 64 on 2 targets for a touchdown. Tyler Conklin, 3 of 3 for 50 yards. Zonovan Knight, 3 for 3 for 35 yards. CJ Uzomah, 3 for 3, 17 yards. Ty Johnson, 1 of 2 for... We had so many different pass catchers, 10 in total. Not pass attempts, like people who had the ball thrown at them. No. 10 pass catchers this whole game, and we really saw how dynamic our pass catchers can be when we get the ball out on time and effectively. It's really made me reevaluate my thoughts on the quarterback position for this football team, and keep tuned. There's going to be a whole video on that. It's probably going to come out tomorrow, because I have to watch the game one more time to really get down my thoughts on Mike White and what he's doing. But that goes to my 5th key to victory, and what I saw and my key takeaway was Mike White really did his job at the quarterback position. 22 of 28 for 315 yards, 3 touchdowns. 0 interceptions, a 91.2 QBR, a 149.3 passer rating. He did an absolutely phenomenal job. He played safe, and when it was time to take the deep shots and to have plays develop, he did that well, and he looked like, obviously he doesn't have as strong of an arm as Zach does, but he looked to have a strong enough arm and accuracy deep to get the ball deep to when we need it. He was fitting the ball in tight windows when we needed the ball to go into tight windows. The one to me that really stands out is go watch, I think it's the Elijah Moore touchdown. I can't remember if it's a touchdown or if it's the first catch, but he fits that ball in a place where only Elijah Moore can get it, because if he throws it ahead of him, it's an interception. If he throws it too far behind him, it's an interception. He throws it just on Elijah Moore's back shoulder to where Elijah Moore, knowing that he's an insanely good athlete and he has great body control, can turn around, get that ball, boom, he bounces off the safety because the safety does a Jordan White impression and doesn't wrap up, and he bounces upfield and turns what should be just a really nice gain. I think it was like a 15 or 16 yard pass into 30, 40 yards. And I think that was the touchdown. I can't remember. I believe it was the touchdown, but he turns that upfield and turns what should be a 15, 14 yard gain into like 40 yards. And that all stems from Mike White being accurate and dynamic with the football. And I'm seriously going into this Minnesota game looking at it and saying, you know what? Not only are we good enough everywhere else on the roster, but Mike White might be the quarterback that can win us that game. And I'm this close to saying that the Minnesota Vikings game is a must-win football game. Guys, let me know about what you think about my 5 key takeaways in the comment section below. And last but not least, go Jets.